Welcome back, everybody. This is Shannon BR broadcasting from the home of Down Squad Racing at the Mullet River Sprint Track. Today, we got a great one for you. Group 4 of Round 1 of the Corvette Super Sprints. Today's going to be a little bit different and a little bit wild because this group consists of the 4th best qualifying car. That'll be on pole. Then we had 2 cars that were going to be late arrivals. Unfortunately, Ross Sungod's car is still lost in the mail. So we only had 1 late arrival car that left us space for 4 second chance cars. Those 4 cars were the top 4 qualifiers that did not make it to the second round in the first 3 groups. The quick version of the rules is if you pass the finish line, that lap counts no matter what condition you are. If you stop on the track someplace, as long as you got 2 wheels on the track, that lap counts as well. If you DNF off the track or upside down, you go a lap down and to the back of the pack. The first 3 cars to finish 6 laps today will be moving on to round 2. And we keep going until we get at least 3 cars that finish 6 laps. This is the Corvette Super Sprints. Let's meet our drivers today. Qualifying 4th overall, your pole sitter for today is Crazy Eights. In the 1997 Corvette, this is the first time at the Mullet River Sprint Track. West Coastin is your late arrival in that 2020 Corvette, Kool-Aid Jammers. Your fastest qualifying second chance car is Mr. Dark of Dubious Diecast in the 1980 Corvette. Next to him in row 2 will be N-Count in his 1962 Corvette. Row 3 will be Hot Nuts Diecast's Craigster Sr. in his 2020 Corvette. And last but not least, this is Cupcake in his 2009 Corvette racing for Rust Belt Diecast. It's time to leave it all on the track. Finish in the top 3 or go home. And here's your starting grid, waiting for the green light. Wait, what is that? Is that Ron Sungod? He made it? His package just arrived. And now he's in the race. 7 cars. Okay, here we go. That's Ross Sungod. Did have permission to be in this race, was lost in the mail. It looks like he just arrived in time today, and we're off. Crazy Eights leading him on down to the carousel. Gets the whole shot. Mr. Dark behind him. Craigster Sr. passes Mr. Dark for second. Fire this camera guy. Well, we know that Crazy Eights finished first. We're gonna have to see the replay to find out who else finished where. I believe something happened coming out of the hard left. Someone went off the track. Let's find out what happened. Everybody's together through the carousel. Crazy Eights gets out in front, Mr. Dark behind him. And watch West Coast in the green car just goes right off the track. Craigster Sr. right behind that green car. Check this out. Just shoves him right off the track. See you later. And then heads down and gets on the inside of Mr. Dark and makes the pass. Some crazy driving there. Almost pushes Mr. Dark off the track. Your finishing order for lap 1 is Crazy Eights, Craigster Sr., Mr. Dark, N-Count, Cupcake, and Ross Sungod. Lap 2, that is Crazy Eight still in the pole position. Craigster Sr. moves all the way up into second. Mr. Dark and N-Count will be in row 2. Cupcake moves up to 5th position. Ross Sungod moves up into 6th. West Coast and falls all the way to the back. And a lap down for the DNF. Here we go with lap 2. Crazy Eights leads him on down. Crazy Eights gets the whole shot. Craigster Sr. challenging Mr. Dark right there. And that is Craigster Sr. takes the lap with Mr. Dark right behind him. I'm not sure what happened to Crazy Eights. Let's find out in the replay here. Ross Sungod not getting the greatest start, kind of falling back. Crazy Eights gets the whole shot and just starts blocking right away. Look at the back of the pack. The green car flips again, coming out of the hard left. He is on his roof when Ross Sungod comes through and just launches him off the track. Get out of my way. Boom. One more time with the replay coming down the hill. If you look at the front, that is Craigster Sr. and Mr. Dark all over Crazy Eights. Oh, and there goes Crazy Eights just coming out of the Phil Collins corner right into the parking lot. He comes to a stop inside of Champ's corner off the track. Your finishing order is Craigster Sr., Mr. Dark, N-Count, Cupcake, and then Ross Sungod. That will absolutely mix up the field. Craigster Sr. will be your new pole position. Mr. Dark will be next to him in the front row. N-Count and Cupcake in the second row. Ross Sungod moves all the way up to 5th with Crazy Eights and West Coastin in the back. That's an exciting first 2 laps, so let's go to lap 3 here. Let's see what Craig Sr. can do with that pole position. He brings him on down to the carousel. Gets out front, he will get the pole position with End Count. End Count gets past Mr. Dark. He then tries to block everybody, gets nailed by the group right off the track. Ruthless, but that's going to happen when you pull that maneuver. I believe Craig Sr. took the lap with Mr. Dark in second. There is End Count off the track and in the parking lot as well. He will be going on a lap down. Here's the start. Craig Sr. gets a good run with End Count right behind him. Coming down the hill into the hard left. Cupcake hangs 10 through the hang 10. Spins but keeps his position. And for some reason, End Count just blocks everybody to a stop. Everyone piles up behind him. He is the only one that finished off the track or upside down, so everyone will finish the lap. Your order is Craig Sr., Mr. Dark, Cupcake, and that looks like Ross Sun God got past West Coastin. With Crazy 8s at the back of the pack, I'm not sure what End Count was thinking with his Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner move in Champ's Corner, but that did not work out. Here we go, lap 4. Craig Sr. and Mr. Dark will still be in front. Cupcake moves all the way up to 3rd, Ross Sun God into 4th. Crazy 8s is a lap down, West Coastin right next to him, 2 laps down. West Coastin a lap down, bringing up the end. That's where we stand after 3. Here we go with lap 4. Craig Sr. taking him down again to the carousel. Gets another hole shot. Cupcake right behind him. Cupcake got past Mr. Dark. That's Craig Sr. taking the lap with Cupcake and Mr. Dark behind him. Craig Sr. just takes off and Cupcake just glues himself to Craig Sr.'s bumper and gets past Mr. Dark in the carousel. West Coast tries to get past 2 but just can't do it going down the hill. They get a little squirrely going through hang 10. Ross Sun God tries to take West Coast on the outside through the Phil Collins corner, just can't get past him. Everybody finishes a lap, which you normally think would be good, but those guys in the back of the pack need some DNF so they can catch up. Your finishing order is Craig Sr., Cupcake, Mr. Dark, West Coastin, Ross Sun God, End Count, Crazy 8s. Just remember, these guys are lap down. If West Coastin and End Count and Crazy 8s can pass everybody else and finish a lap first, they can actually earn a lap back. Craig Sr. is still on your pole position. Crazy 8 still trying to figure this track out and figure a way to pass everybody, get back in front. Here we go, Craig Sr. gets a great jump. Mr. Dark right behind him. Heading on down through the hang 10 corner. Mr. Dark challenges, still challenging, can't get around him. I believe, I could be wrong here, but I believe West Coast finished second there. Craig Sr. was blocking everybody, and that just let everybody pile up behind him. Let's check it out in the replay here. That's where Mr. Dark is by Cupcake, and West Coast is already being pushed by End Count and gets a great push. By the time they get to the hard left, West Coast already gets past Ross Sun God. Here's the Phil Collins corner. This is where he passes Cupcake on the inside. Let's see if West Coast gets around Mr. Dark. He's 2 laps down, trying to earn 1 of them back, trying to work his way to the front. There's Craig Sr. takes the first place. And they're actually giving this to West Coastin. Although he's still 2 laps down, he'll start the next lap in the front row. Finishing order for that lap is Craig Sr., West Coastin, Mr. Dark, Cupcake, Ross Sun God, End Count, and Crazy 8s. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is lap 6, and we got 4 cars. On the lead lap, Craig Sr., Mr. Dark, Cupcake, and Ross Sun God. If all 4 of those cars finish this lap, the first 3 are going to move on. But if you've been watching the first 3 groups of this race, you know the likelihood of that. So let's see what happens. Here is lap 6, Craig Sr. in that pole position with the advantage. Let's see if he can hold on to it. Here they go down into the carousel. Craig Sr. gets another good jump. Mr. Dark right behind him. Heading on through the hang 10 corner. Goes through. Mr. Dark challenges for that first place spot. Does not get it. There is Ross Sun God. Comes to a stop right before the finish line. Let's check out the replay and find out who's moving on to round 2. Here's everybody coming down the hill. If you watch the back of the pack, that's where it gets interesting. That is Cupcake blocking, and just mayhem happens. Cupcake almost goes off the track. West Coast almost goes off the track. By the time it works itself out, Ross Sun God finds himself at the end of this pack. Craigster Sr. and Mr. Dark just battling, trying to get the group first place. Both those cars are on point today. That was a very close finish. The finishing order for lap 6 is Craigster Sr. barely in front of Mr. Dark here. West Coast and Cupcake, End Count, Crazy Eights, and Ross Sun God. Talking about moving up the ladder, Craigster Sr. started this entire group in P5, finishes at P1. Mr. Dark started in 3rd place, finished in 2nd. Cupcake started in 6th place. 6th? See, I think I can say that now. 6th place. And ends up P3. Ross Sun God moved from P7 all the way up into P4 by lap 4, but just couldn't get in that top 3 in those last 3 laps. West Coast and End Count and Crazy Eights, amazing cars. We're going to see these guys back at the track hopefully sometime soon, but their tournament is done. We're going to see you all round 2 starting next week. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Shannon BR at the Mullet River Sprint Track. This is the Corvette Super Sprints. We'll see you next time. See ya!